the way that I'm like slightly concerned for my mental health, but also it was like the most stunning monster romance that I've ever read. We have more packages. The more you learn about it, the more messed up it gets. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this one. Like, just makes you feel uncomfortable in your own skin reading it. If all of my girlies are screaming and crying about this, you know I'm gonna read it and hopefully scream and cry about it. We have our 'tis the season shirt on because it's almost spooky season, but it is spooky week. We are starting our summerween vlog. I have a couple books. I have mentioned these in my July monthly reset vlogs. I talked about my TBR for the month. I'm going to be reading Dark Harvest by Norman Partridge. This is a spooky novella that's about this jack-o'-lantern man who comes to life. He's this monster that comes to life every Halloween, and it's like a hunter be hunted type situation. The other book I have to read after Dark Harvest is Unhinged, and I know that, but that's what we're here for. So it's called Burn for Jack by Aiden Pierce. This is a 90-page dark romance horror book that's basically about a monster very similar to the monster in Dark Harvest, but it's a smutty romance. So we have that as well. And then the last book I'm hoping to read in this vlog is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. And I can't stinking wait for honestly all of these books. I think the one that I'm going to start with is Dark Harvest because this whole past week, the books that have been my favorite to read have been thrillers. And so I think I'm ready to transition into a horror book. Just look how cute Mr. Jameson's is. So cute. So I think we're gonna start with Dark Harvest. I would like to honestly finish this today. I think kicking off the readathon, finishing a book in a day sounds like a vibe. Happy day 4. I have so many thoughts and I just need to talk about them. So I need help for my monster romance girlies because I read and finished Burn for Jack last night by Aiden Pierce, and I need more people to read this book because oh my gosh, it was so good. If I wasn't reading it like in the dark, I should have filmed my reactions. It was so unhinged in all of the best ways. This book is 90 pages and the writing is actually like decent, which was a massive surprise. In the beginning, the author has an author's note and they say, you know, if you're here for like a plot driven whatever, like this is literally 90 pages of a monster romance, so like this might not be for you. And then she does also give content warnings because there are some content warnings. I feel like if you liked Scream for Us and like Melt for Us, those books, I forget the author, but I'll try to pop up the book covers, you would really, really like this novella. If that's like your vibe of like the dark romance Halloween, very, very spicy, you would really like this one. Finished that one last night, and then I am 100, wait, did I get? Yeah, I'm a little bit over 100 pages into Dark Harvest, so I'm gonna finish this today. I read the first 100 pages, and then that's when I switched to Burn for Jack, because I was like, I just wanna get like the vibes, because this monster is very different than what I thought it was going to be. Definitely more dark and twisty than what I thought reading the synopsis and what's kind of presented on the surface. It's in second person, which I don't know about y'all, but I don't encounter many books that have second person narration. I was also very confused at first about who the narrator was and like who was telling this story, but as you continue to read it, I think this is a book that you have to read the first 50 pages to get a good grasp of like what's going on, because things move very, very quickly. Obviously this book is only 170 pages. It's basically the purge that only teenage boys can participate in. The more you learn about it, the more messed up it gets. Good morning, besties. It is early for me. I can't say very many times that I have started vlogging at 7:17 in the morning. I woke up this morning at 5:20 because my boss for work is on vacation and I had to join a call and present for her at 6 a.m. Anyways, last night I finished Dark Harvest. I ended up giving this, I think my final rating, I'm gonna say a 3.75. This was an interesting experience. It wasn't scary necessarily, but it was one of those books where you're expecting like a monster creature and then through one way or another you find out that the monster is really like a human monster. Humans with the evil and badness that's inside of us are scarier than like an actual monster coming out of a cornfield type vibe. The things that I think this book did really well, there was an interesting voice that carried through the entire story. So like I mentioned, it is in second person. The narrator was a little bit confusing at first, but when I read the afterword that the author wrote for this book, I liked where he was coming from. I think that the explanation was really helpful, where he said he was kind of going for a telling a scary story around a campfire type vibe, and afterwards that is the impression that I got from it. He said that he thinks a lot of origins for horror authors is the fact that at some point in their childhood, like in their teendom, horror stories and telling like scary stories was probably a pivotal moment for them. At least it was for him. The other thing that this book did really well was present a very specific world view. It's very like small town Midwest. This is all you've ever known, is this creepy town that has this creepy Halloween tradition. And it was a weird mix between trick-or-treating and like Halloween tradition mixed with the literal purge and just like a night of absolute chaos and craziness and weirdness. I thought it was good, but it didn't like blow me away. And then I am so excited because we get to start my best friend's exorcism today. I also wanted to mention, while I was reading Dark Harvest and Burn for Jack, I found this Halloween lo-fi video. I'm gonna link it in the description box below. I know that when I'm posting this, it's the Sunday after Summerween, but if you like reading horror books or spooky, creepy books to lo-fi, or if you just like reading to lo-fi in general, hi, hello. I'm gonna link it because it was actually like a really good one, and I thought that the lo-fi vibes were just matching the books that I'm reading. I feel like I've heard so much about Grady Hendrix and how he's a very witty, smart, creative author, and his writing style is really good, so. Just reached page 100 in my best friend's exorcism, and I'm really liking this so far. The atmosphere of the book, very 80s. I think it's done well. I mean, questionable because there's a lot of 80s references in here that I am unfamiliar with. The friendships, so we have like our main group of girls and we have our two main characters, Abby and Gretchen, who are like best buds. There was this incident where they all tried to like trip on acid and the acid just never kicked in, but Gretchen kind of like went on this adventure by herself. She tried to like skinny dip in this river and then they couldn't find her for a long time and she spent the whole night in the woods, and when she comes back things are different. So we don't really know what happened when Gretchen was alone that night, but in the car ride back with Abby, Gretchen had said, I don't remember anything about last night. And Abby was like, it's okay, like it's gonna be okay. Maybe like the acid worked for you or whatever. Like Abby has no idea, but now things just keep getting weirder and weirder. Gross, creepy. It's like very like just makes you feel uncomfortable in your own skin reading it. So this has been really fun. I'm going to keep reading. I might try to aim for another 50, at least 50, but maybe another 100 pages. We'll see. I just am gonna read until I don't feel like reading this anymore. And today's Prime Day, so earlier this morning when I was like laying in bed, I don't know why I haven't mentioned it until now, I did place an Amazon order, so it should come in I think tomorrow. So when those packages arrive, I'll show you what I got. I did end up getting a couple books. None of the books that were on sale really interested me, but there were a couple more like indie fantasy romance books that I think could be potentials for the Who Did This to You book club. If you're new to my channel, we just started a book club on the app called Fable. It's called the Who Did This to You book club because obviously that's the best line in any like fantasy romance, and not fantasy romance, like in any romance in general, the Who Did This to You line is just chef's kiss. But yes, we just started it. Our first book is going to be in August, and we're still, I think by the time this video goes up on Sunday, we'll still be voting on what book we want to read. So that will be linked in the description box below if you're curious, if you want to check it out, if you want to join us and have an amazing fantasy romance time. Okay, in a matter of 3 chapters, this book went from like kind of a silly, goofy, funny time to being very, very creepy as Gretchen is getting progressively worse. I'm happy that I'm reading this during the daytime because honestly, I feel like this is a slippery slope. It's going to progressively get even worse, and I'm actually going to get really scared. Yesterday, I read 262 pages of this book. This is how much I have left. Things have definitely gotten worse. Remember when I was like, things have really started to take a downturn? Things have gotten a lot worse. I didn't think that I was going to be stressy. I thought that I was going to be like creeped out and scared in a different way. I'm actually stressy for our main character with what this possessed girl is doing to her. Like, she's trying to ruin lives out here, and I just need this demon to get her comeuppance right now. I have like 70, maybe like 65 pages left, so absolutely finishing this today. I can't stick and wait. I also really want to read more from Grady Hendrix, but now I'm trying to figure out what I want to read next. I think that I want to try to squeeze one more book into this reading vlog because we have finished 3 books. We finished, well, we're going to be finishing this one. We finished Burn for Jack, and we finished Dark Harvest. So I want to try to squeeze one more in. I don't know if I want to make it a dark romance because I feel like that would be a vibe, and I loved Burn for Jack so much, but it was so short. We're getting ahead of ourselves. First things first, we're finishing My Best Friend's Exorcism. It's probably gonna be a 5-star if I'm honest. Friends, many exciting things are happening. First exciting thing, I just got some of my packages from my Amazon Prime Day order, and I want to open them with y'all because this is a big purchase and it's a very grown-up purchase. Yeah, so I got a Dyson vacuum. I thought that unboxing was going to be a lot more dramatic because I thought that it was gonna come all put together. Yes, we got a Dyson vacuum. It was on sale and we were like, it's time. I have really bad allergies and I'm technically allergic to Jameson. And so there's some days when I wake up and my whole face and nose just hurt and it hurts to breathe. So I was like, this is a well worth it purchase for us and for me, selfishly. So I'm about to start vacuuming my house and I'm so excited. Okay, I just did a quick once over of my entire house with that vacuum. I love it. Now for some other exciting packages that I can open up with y'all. I have a couple other packages that are also arriving tomorrow, so I will try to throw those into the video as well. All of the books that I ordered are coming tomorrow. Some new tabbies. So I ordered 3 of the same. I really like the tabs that have the clear bit along with like the colored bit. I also like the ones that are basically the whole rainbow. I do love an aesthetic tabbed book that like matches the color palette of the book. My issue with tabs like that, I constantly have to refer back to my annotation key in the front. My goal is that going forward when I'm annotating with these rainbow ones, I can have a consistent annotation key so I know that blue is always for like important moments. I know that yellow is always for stunning quotes. I know that green is always for, oh my gosh, gasping for air, spicy scene. You know what I mean? So I can assign them and just have it be consistent across multiple books and I won't have to constantly be deciding, okay, what is going to be my annotation key with this specific color palette? Again, that might be a very niche thing, but that's something that I noticed with my last order that I did for annotation supplies. I ordered one of those just all aesthetic, different color palettes, tabs, and after a little while I was like, this is cute and my annotated books look really cute, but it's a lot of brain power to remember like what everything is for. So we have more packages. These are the last, I think these are the last 2 for Prime Day, and these are much more book oriented, meaning they're legit books. So these are the couple books that I ordered during Amazon Prime. The funniest part of this is that none of the books that I ordered were really on sale for Prime Day. But I was like, where I'm ordering anyways, I'm gonna order these books because I want them. And I also got a couple beauty products as well. I've been seeing these everywhere and for the most part I've heard pretty good things. So I have been seeing Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling everywhere. This is available on Kindle Unlimited, but where everyone was like, it's dragons, it's fantasy, it's romance, I've heard that the love interest in this is dreamy. I forget what his name is. It starts with a C. Caden. Caden! Yes, I've heard that Caden is an absolute dreamboat and I'm so excited for this. This might be a book that we're reading on the Who Did This To You book club, which is now live. We've made the announcement. I'm so excited. I've been planning that book club for a little while now and I was dying to tell y'all about it. So this might be an option for the Who Did This To You book club pick for maybe August or September. We'll see how it goes. But I think everyone's really excited about Heavenly Bodies right now, so that might end up being our August book club pick. The next book that I ordered, this is also a potential read for the Who Did This To You book club. It's called Frost by C.N. Crawford. I know very little about this other than it's a fae fantasy romance and it sounds like tea. I did read the summary for it on Goodreads and immediately purchased it. I believe this is on Kindle Unlimited as well. And then everyone has been freaking out about Divine Rivals and I was like, I need to jump on this hype train and see what this is all about. So I did order Divine Rivals. The fairy loot and like specialty editions of this book are so beautiful, but I just ordered the normal edition. From what I understand, this is also fantasy romance, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But it's two young rival journalists who find love through a magical connection. They must face the depths of hell in a war between gods to seal their fate forever. Divine Rivals is an epic enemies to lovers fantasy novel filled with hope and heartbreak and the unparalleled power of love. Absolutely, that sounds so amazing. I'm really excited for all of these, but I think right now I'm most excited for Fear the Flames. Jan read this book recently and absolutely loved it. Also, my friend Val read this, absolutely loved it. I think that Rachel from Raven Haired Reader loved it. So if all of my girlies are screaming and crying about this, you know I'm gonna read it and hopefully scream and cry about it. Now, a reading update from yesterday. So I ended up trying out a couple different books. I wasn't really sure what I was in the mood to read, so I was reading a couple chapters from each and seeing which one I wanted to stick with. So I did start a NetGalley arc that I have. It's called Gallows Hill. I will try to pop up a picture of the cover. This is getting released, I believe, in October. Horror, historical fiction type book. It takes place in the 1600s during the Salem witch trials. The Salem witch trials are just starting, and we follow two characters. It's dual POV. One is I don't remember their names, so I apologize, but the boy POV, he just came over from England. They had a rough sail across the Atlantic Ocean, and he is going to be settling in the colonies. Our boy POV is 16 or 17 years old. He now is responsible for his younger sister. And then our second POV is a little girly pop who lives already in Salem. She is kind of experiencing the craziness as well from a different perspective of the Salem witch trials. The reason I started reading this is because it's only 200, maybe 250 pages, so it's very short, and I was like, oh I could definitely squeeze this in to this vlog and finish it and be able to give y'all all of the thoughts. But it didn't grip me. I'm not like disinterested in it. I think it's good so far. I've read 3 chapters, but I wanted something with romance. So I started reading Hollow Heathens by Nicole Fiorna. I think that's how you say her last name. I'm obsessed with. I'm actually obsessed with it. I'm hoping that I get to read a lot more of it today. Last night I read 15% of it. I read about the first 100 pages. We follow our main character. She returns to the town that she was born in, that her family is from. I think they're in Maine. It's a seaside town that is very witchy. This town was founded by 2 kind of like enemy covens, witch covens, but the covens decided to make this treaty together and live in peace. You can't leave this town. Once you go in, like, you can't come out until the town is done with you, whatever that means. So Girly Pop goes. She's going to take care of her grandpa who is in bad health. She starts to get freaked out by all of the witchiness in the town, and she tries to leave, and it just like doesn't let her, and she ends up crashing her car, and now we're just here and we're stuck in this town. She is kind of this love child of the 2 opposing covens. So her mom was from one coven, her dad was from another, and so everyone in the town knows her and knows like her backstory and who she is and who her parents are, and she's like, I don't know anything about any of y'all, this is very awky. And there are these outsiders in the town that are called the Hollow Heathens. They're known to practice dark magic, and that is very looked down upon. Everyone's kind of scared of them. They have this death omen that hangs over all of the people that are Hollow Heathens. I say all of the people.
It's 5 like very attractive men.
And they wear masks all the time because the lore is that if you see their actual face, you will die of terror and your heart will stop. But Julian, who's like the main leader of the group, it seems like, can't keep his eyes off of our main new girly pop in the town. It is giving like small town romance mixed with fantasy romance, witches, magic, dark magic. It seems like it's kind of dark romancy-esque because she goes to spy on Julian and the Hollow Heathens when they're doing this like ritual in the woods, and there's this whole bonfire, and they do like slaughter a goat, and that's when she runs away and tries to like escape town, but it does have a little bit of like animal cruelty. It wasn't super graphic and it didn't go into a lot of detail, but it told you that like they killed a goat. So if that bothers you, this might not be the book for you. Y'all, I'm like obsessed with it. So I will keep you updated when I continue reading that because I need to read more of that today. This vlog. So I was able to read to the halfway point in Hollow Heathens. I am loving it. If you like more of a slow burn romance, you can tell that this is going to get dragged out. There's some like messiness that's going on. It's kind of giving Stars Hollow vibes, except make it magical. The way that everyone interacts, everyone in the town knows each other, everyone in the town goes to the one diner. They had a movie night where they were playing the Rocky Horror Picture Show. There was like concession stands and it was selling like popcorn and Angry Orchards, and like it's fall time. They're getting ready for, it's kind of like a Wiccan society, so they celebrate Wiccan holidays. So instead of Halloween, they call it something else. I want to pop it up on screen. It starts with an S. But all of these things, but it feels very Stars Hollow if Stars Hollow was like a witch colony, basically. But it's much more dark. Like, I don't mean to make it sound like a cozy fantasy romance because it's absolutely not. Like, it's definitely on the darker side of things, but I'm just saying the town is so atmospheric, and it's a seaside town in Maine. I am just like living all of my New England childhood, basically. I have had so much fun this week. Summerween treated me very well this year, and I'm so grateful. I feel like I'm in a much better place with my reading. I hope that you had a great Summerween as well. Let me know if you did participate. What was your favorite book that you read? What was your favorite prompt? If you've read any of the books that I read in this vlog, please let me know your thoughts. I always love to hear what y'all think. If you're looking for more content from me, I have it all linked in the description box below. I have my Goodreads, we have the romantasy-a-thon Instagram, I have my own Instagram, and then we have obviously our book club that I've mentioned. All of that's linked down below. I will catch you in the comments, and I'll see you in my next one, friends. Bye!